He has lived in over 38 countries and known far and wide for his signature style.
I started off in Europe and Central Asia.
Yes, today on Daring Abroad, we feature former World Bank economist Dr. David Wachira and how he's changing lives through his fintech company, Wachira.
As an immigrant coming to the US, one of the biggest things that you struggle with is building credit. So we're coming in and changing that particular narrative.
From Uganda, how Nyandarua-born construction expert Kirori Shag is building a name for himself in Kampala.
Here, discipline level is very high. Registering a company takes a single day.
Yes, you heard that right. Today's show is all about exemplary entrepreneurs excelling in their various fields and, dare I say, mavericks in their region in different parts of the globe. One in the United States, that's none other than David Wachira, and from just right here in Uganda, Kirori Shag. And I know you're raring to go, so without wasting any more time, let's get right into it.
US-based Dr. David Wachira is no stranger to the public eye. Known for his signature style, impressive academic achievements, and brilliance in the world of fintech, Wachira is a maverick of all things finance. So how exactly did this household name find his way to the land of opportunity? Well, it has everything to do with his religion.
So my dad is an ordained pastor, and he was ordained at that particular time around 1993, and the church, the Akorino church, sent him to the West, actually to the United States for further studies. So he was under a scholarship by the National Council of Churches of Kenya. So that's how we ended up in Texas, where he was there to do his theological training, or his advanced theological training. So when I came here, I did go to school. I was in primary school at the time. So came here in Standard 7, is when I left Kenya. So I did my Standard 8, my high school, my undergrad, my master's, and my PhD all here in the US.
In what?
My undergrad is in political science, history. I was a double major. And then for my master's, I went to Texas A&M University and I studied history, particularly diplomatic history. And then for my PhD, I did public finance and public policy.
While studying, Wachira immersed himself in the world of academia, not as surprising given his family history.
My family, most of them are college professors. My dad and my two sisters are college professors. I was also a college professor. I taught budgeting and finance and public policy as well at the University of Texas and at SMU, Southern Methodist University. And I was an assistant professor of economics and history at Wiley College for 2 years. And then after that, I joined the World Bank. So I joined the World Bank in 2013. I was looking at how governments, particularly municipal and subnational governments, are able to stabilize their resources during periods of economic swings. So I ended up joining the World Bank. I started off in Europe and Central Asia. So I picked up Russian. Я много понимаю по-русски, so speak a little bit Russian from that. I also worked a little bit on some French. After Europe and Central Asia, I went to West Africa, in Anglophone West Africa, spent a good bit of time in Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. And then after that, went to East Africa, not to Kenya, though I did do some work in Kenya at the time, but mainly in Rwanda and in Tanzania. And then went to Southern Africa, did a good bit of work in Mauritius, in South Africa, in Zambia, and in Zimbabwe, and actually lived in Zimbabwe for two years. And then did some work in Asia as well, India, Pakistan, Kyrgyz Republic. So overall covered about 38 countries with the World Bank, but the pure aspect was focusing on governance and public financial issues.
Now, that's what we call being a man on the move, literally speaking. Wachira was definitely living a life most people could only dream of. But after 10 years of globe-trotting, the Kirinyaga native decided it was time to start afresh.
I call myself an accidental entrepreneur. It was definitely not on purpose to leave employment. I've been at the World Bank for 10 years, over a decade. And while working in the aspect of development, I came to undergo a significant amount of challenges that I found that other people were continually experiencing. And that's when it came to financial access in this particular country. And I thought to myself, how can all these people be experiencing this problem? Someone should do something about it. The intention was not for me to go and do something about it, but then the more I researched and looked into this particular issue, I thought to myself, why not go and try to solve this, not only for myself, but for others. And that's how I ended up venturing out of employment and, got into banking.
Inspired by this, Wachira, together with some of his friends at the World Bank and others from Kenya, co-founded Wire, a US-based financial technology company that allows immigrants, minorities, and people who are underrepresented to open bank accounts.
So what we do is that we allow you as an individual to open checking accounts that gives you access to regular banking services. So in a short term, or in layman's term, we are a neobank or a mobile bank. And that's essentially what we are. We are not necessarily different from your traditional legacy banks that have, brick and mortar. On our hand, we work under the same industry. We have a banking partner who we work with that allows us to ride on their rails when it comes to opening up bank accounts, and also our other partners are MasterCard. So in short, we allow you as an individual to open up checking accounts here in the US. Remittances is one of the offerings that falls under financial services. So if you think of the broad aspect of financial services, and that's why we refer to ourselves as a financial services company, or we look at financial services as a problem and we're trying to provide solutions, is that there are multiple things that you can do under financial services. The easiest one, the more common one, is giving people access to banking products. So we're doing that already. Giving people access to credit building and solutions in that particular aspect.
Great. So what challenges do you encounter in these financial services, and how do you, deal with them?
The US market is heavily regulated, looking at money laundering and anti-terrorist activities. So the US government is, heavily involved in making sure that we are operating, or everybody in this space is operating above par. So that comes with its challenges. And so that's why we have been building this for a significant time, going on 4 years before we released it to the public. We want to make sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted. The other challenges come back home with our brothers and sisters, particularly when it comes to trying to operate within the Kenyan market or in the African market. I think our bills need to be a little bit better placed so that they are more cognizant of the digital market that we're living in. It is perplexing that we come from a world of mobile money, M-Pesa being the clear leader in it, but to this particular day, we're being regulated by a law that was passed, almost 2 decades ago when it comes to how we look at fintech. So for us to break into the Kenyan market or want to reach out to the Kenyan market comes with these significant challenges in terms of how our banking partners in Kenya treat us, or how the central bank treats us, and it's something that we need to work on to make the business flows and the business development a little bit easier.
Since 2022, Wire has been offering much-needed financial solutions to its clients. In that time, the company has made waves in the banking sector, attracting interest from even governments.
We as Wire have signed an MOU with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in ways that we can incentivize and grow the direct investments from Diaspora into Kenya. So I think there's a significant amount of progress that is being done, and they have significant amount of energy, and I hope and I wish them well in terms to be able to maintain that momentum, and anything that we can do as Diaspora to facilitate those investments back home, we stand ready.
Wachira's journey is truly remarkable, but the most inspiring aspect is even after 25 years of daring abroad, he is still dedicated to his values and culture.
It has really championed the power of giving back. My parents championed that in us, in living your life as a life of ministry. And by that I mean using your talents to give back to the community. So whether that was in medicine like my sisters or in finance like I am, and utilizing those resources to give back to the community. So that's how I ended up in development. That's why I continue to work in development. So their influence has been very strong, at least in terms of giving back.
And from all that he's been able to accomplish, the family man has this to say as his parting shot.
Please don't be like me, but you can learn from me because I've gone through many significant challenges and you don't have to experience them to get to where I am. So to young students, I would say, dream big, be interested in your studies, and don't just look of coming abroad as the panacea to your problems. I've been to 68 countries so far. Travel opens the mind. It reads a lot of bigotry, a lot of tribalism, because you find that people cry and laugh about the very same things. And so I encourage my people to travel, be well read, be literate of different cultures, because you will find that what you are finding perplexing at home, that very thing that you're calling a negative is actually a positive thing if you look at it holistically.
Quite inspiring there from the good Dr. David Wachira, doing amazing work in the United States and giving back to the immigrants who are trying to make something of their lives. We can take a thing or two from that. Time now for us to go on a short break, but when we return,
Here, discipline level is very high. Registering a company takes a single day.
the Kenyan in construction building a name for himself in Kampala. Welcome back to the show. Today, it's all about enterprising entrepreneurs excelling abroad. In the first part, we took you to the United States. Now we head over to Kampala, Uganda, to see this amazing individual who's been able to make a brand for himself in Kampala.
For the past 19 years, Kirori Shag has been busy building, both literally and figuratively. You see, Shag happens to be a known brand in Uganda's construction and infrastructure sector.
I came to Uganda the year 2005 on a subcontract to construct Bitcoin industries in Jinja. Then from Jinja, I got another job in Kampala. We were doing warehouses for Interfreight and the parking area and the area for the containers. Then from there, that is when I noticed there was a lot of potential in construction work here. So I decided to register a company, which I registered in 2007. And from then, the rest is history. So we have done a lot of construction work, houses, warehouses, and mainly this is our major project, Kampala Cement. We did it from the ground. We cut the bushes, we backfilled, we cut the area, and then we started the construction in 2013.
Yes, that is how Shag got his start here in the Pearl of Africa under his outfit, Midlands Ventures Limited.
It is very easy. Registering a company takes a single day, and you go to a certificate, set up your office, look for work, and do business. You see, in construction, the raw materials are natural, like the aggregate, the sand, cement we get from the factories. There is no problem in that. They are all over. I have never had issues. No. And there are people who love work. They work. Ugandans and Kenyans, the difference is very small. And when you tell them, let us do this, they will follow. Transiting from Kenya to Uganda, I can say it was very easy for me. I never even noticed any change. Because when I came with the workforce from Kenya because I did not know where I could get workers. So I brought my people from Kenya. I came with a team of about 30 of them. The only people I got here were porters to carry things like that. Then after that, I started now getting to know this Ugandan can do this can do this can do this, and I slowly shed off the majority of Kenyan workers. So now I work with Ugandans, majority of them. I only have 2 Kenyans.
It is estimated that Uganda needs about 300,000 housing units each year. In recent times, the country has seen a boom in construction of commercial and residential spaces, contributing to about 12% of Uganda's GDP.
Here, the discipline level is very high. You go to a government office, you are taken seriously. You don't take time there. Whatever takes you there, it is handled promptly on the spot. Sometimes in Kenya, like now, I have another company in Kenya. There are so many problems. You go to this office, somebody tells you, no, I can't handle that. The other one can't handle this. So you are left not knowing where you are going or what you are doing. But here, somebody will tell you, go to that table. And you are not going to leave that table without assistance.
This support does have a slight but welcome disadvantage.
Competition is there, and we have serious professionals. I'm going to show you that part of the road that I did, that dual carriage. We did it 2019. And the supervisors from the Ministry of Roads, it's called UNRWA, made sure that everything was done according to the book. And that's why that road is still there. It doesn't have even a single pothole ever since.
According to the Nyandarua County native, coming to Uganda was the best decision he ever made, given the numerous opportunities available.
They are very many. Very many. Hotel industry is big here. Tourism is also big here. There is also marketing, goods from Kenya to Uganda, from Uganda to Kenya.
Speaking of opportunities, construction is not the only industry that Shag is involved in. Yes, he dabbles in hospitality. Shag owns his very own Kampala-based restaurant.
Around 2016, we started an eatery in Kampala called The Base. We call it The Base Bar and Restaurant. We discovered there was that gap where Kenyans were not getting the food that they would like to be eating. So we decided to open a small area for them, and it has grown. I'm going to take you there. We prepare all the foods, including mukimo, iveri, mutura, all those things.
And you best believe we did sample the delicacies. Delicious. In the 8 years that the base has been in operation, it has become a fan favorite of both locals and foreigners. The secret? Location, location, location.
You want to look for premises. Look for premises, work on it, make sure that everything is done nicely, and the people of health come to do the inspection. They give you the certificate, and then you pay the rates to the local authority. And that's it.
Shag is definitely reaping the rewards of daring abroad, and as we conclude, his parting shot is always have an open mind.
To come and humble himself first. You Kenyans, you guys are a bit rough. Ugandans are soft people. They are not rough. They don't like shouting. Talk with them nicely, and they will help you and guide you in this country.
Many thanks to Kirori Shege for that motivational piece. And with that, we have come to the end of the show today. Many thanks for watching, and on behalf of the team responsible for this week's episode, we say let's do this again next time.